my name's Lydia and welcome back to my channel. Today's the start of my 9th weekly reading vlog. I was meant to start this yesterday on Monday, but I felt like shit after work, so I didn't get any filming done. I just ate and watched a bit of TV and went to bed. And today is Tuesday and I haven't been in work today because I felt so rough. I'm alright now, a bit achy, not really sure what's going on, but it means I've had a lot of time to just slob around and chill out and read. So I finished Nevermore today. This is the first book in this series. The next one is Wondersmith, which I bought immediately after finishing Nevermore. This is such a good little series. I really enjoyed this first book. I really like Morrigan and all the side characters, and there's a lot of space for growth with the characters and the events, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in book 2. So this is a middle grade series about Morrigan Crow, who is supposed to die on her 11th birthday on Eventide, but instead she gets whisked away by a man called Jupiter North to Nevermore, which is like this whole other world beyond the world that Morrigan knows. And there are trials to become part of the Wondrous Society, and it's such a fun book. I really enjoyed the trials and the stakes felt pretty high at quite a lot of points, and this is like the perfect middle grade. Really enjoyed this one. I would put it on a par with Amari and the Night Brothers, which is another middle grade I really enjoyed. Very different books. I might even have preferred this one, I'm not sure, but both 5 stars. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. This is the perfect book to read when I'm feeling a bit shit. With finishing Nevermore, I have now completed Magical Hopathon. I've finished all 4 parks. So Magical Hopathon, with the entrance ticket and 3 prompts in each of the 4 parks, there were 13 books in total to read. I've read, I think, maybe 15 because there are a couple that weren't in any of the prompts. But yeah, I have now finished Magical Hopathon, and I've got I think 7 books left for Spoopathon. So I've moved on to my next Spoopathon book, which is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling, which was my trick or treat prompt. I'm 30 pages in, so can't really give you much detail about how I feel about it, but I'm enjoying it so far. I took a bit of a break to go and play Sims and have some lunch, but I'm now ready to go back to These Witches Don't Burn. I'd like to try and finish this today because then I think I'll be ahead with what I'm supposed to be reading this month, and that gives me a bit more freedom to read something that's not on my TBR. I might see if I can fill other prompts in the Hopathon park that I'm in at the moment, because I might as well go on even more rides and try more snacks. And if I do, or if I need to, I can hop back to another park. Might as well make the readathon last as long as I can. It is 3:30 on Tuesday, so I've got the rest of today, and then tomorrow is my normal day off anyway. So I've got quite a bit of time to catch up on my reading and just have some time off work. It's nice to just have a break. I haven't had a break for a while because I've been doing a lot of overtime. So maybe this is just my body rebelling. But I was feeling rough yesterday, and everyone knew it because I was wearing a cardigan, and I do not ever wear layers at work, which you may find hard to believe because I'm always dressed up here. It's very cold at home. Work is not cold. So the fact that I had to wear a cardigan, everyone was like, you are sick. Last night I managed to finish the second book, which was These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. This was quite a run-of-the-mill YA. Didn't really push the boat out for me. I gave it 3 out of 5 in the end. It was really quick and quite fast-paced, and it was only 320 pages, so I just didn't feel it really went anywhere. The stakes weren't high enough, and when there were like high-stakes action moments, it just didn't feel it. I didn't feel the tension. I just thought, well, everything's gonna be fine, and I'm a bit bored. So, very average. I liked the queer rep. I liked that we had a lesbian protagonist and a bisexual love interest, and there was a trans side character and other queer side characters, but nothing else really stood out to me. It didn't feel as witchy as it could have been, so I think that's one of my problems. It is a series, or at least there is a sequel. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or anything, but there is a second book called This Coven Won't Break, and I don't think I'll be continuing with the series because it just wasn't anything special. I now only have 6 books left for Spoopathon, and this is the next one that I'm reading, which is Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Myers Sane, and this is about a sort of creepy town in Louisiana called La Cachette, where a girl has gone missing, and her best friend, who is the protagonist, and a bunch of other kids in the town are trying to find her and figure out what happened. And they've all got some sort of powers. Like there's one who senses when death is near and things like that. So I'm about 60 pages into this so far. So far, so good. It's quite a long one. It's like, well, for a while, it's like 420 pages. So I hope to finish this one today, because then this would be my 3rd time finishing the Haunted House for Spoopathon. And then my next book is Sheets by Brenna Thumler, which is it's a graphic novel. So that'll be a nice quick read. Hopefully I can get those both finished today. And I think my next one after that is Such Big Teeth, or What Big Teeth by Rose Zarbo. I don't think it's too long. I think it's in the 300 page mark. And it's a good spooky one. It's perfect October read. So, I mean, it would be really cool to be able to finish all 3 today. But I've still got like 350 pages of this. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's 10:30 and I'm off work today. So ideally I can get some reading done. I was going to be going out with my mum at one point, but we've had a delivery of some wood that's blocked the driveway, so we can't get anywhere. So that's a perfect excuse to just sit here and read for a while. So I've come out to the caravan and it's raining, it's cold, which is perfect caravan weather really. I just need to get some matches and light some candles and create a nice cozy reading atmosphere. It's Saturday now and I've read 3 more books since I last updated you. One was Sheets by Brenna Thumler, which was a 3-star read for me. It was just completely meh, very average. It was about a girl, I think she's younger than I thought. She was like 13 or 14, who works in a laundry shop. She lives with her dad and her brother, and her dad is a bit useless. And there's this guy who I think owns the laundry shop who is wanting to make a spa resort and wants to take the shop off them. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be when I started reading it. There are ghosts as well, and they wear sheets to give them some sort of body. It's about these ghosts sort of taking over the laundry shop in a way. It was weird. Like, I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it. So do with that what you will. It was fine. I won't be reading any more in that series. I think there's a couple of sequels. It was a quick read, but didn't really enjoy it that much. The next one I read was a novella by Kate Ancrum, which was The Legend of the Golden Raven, which is the companion novella to The Wicker King, which I read a couple of years ago now. And I really didn't like this novella. I gave it 2 out of 5. It made no sense. It was weirdly like dense and wordy for a 40-page novella, and I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it added much to the story. I didn't think it was like very interesting or necessary, so that was a disappointment. But that gave me my under 200-page book prompt, so that enabled me to move on to the Something You Fear prompt for Spoopathon, for which I read What Big Teeth, because it's scary. This is a very strange book. I'm still not fully sure what I read, but I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I've seen very mixed reviews. People seem to either give it like 1 or 5. I quite enjoyed it. I love the atmosphere. It's very atmospheric. The sense of place is really strong as well. The characters are whack. They're all over the place. Eleanor has just returned to her family home where she has a cousin and a sister and a grandpa who are werewolves. And her mother is some kind of like half sea creature. Like, she's covered in polyps and spends most of her time in a wash tub or a bath because she needs to stay wet. And it's very strange, very weird, very disconcerting and confusing, but I enjoyed it. I like the atmosphere and I like the writing, so yeah, 4 out of 5 for me. I'm now onto the non-fiction prompt for Spoopathon, and I think there's only 2 more left after this, maybe 3. And I'm reading I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle Mcnamara. This was one of my all-time favourite books of, I think, 2018 or 2019. It absolutely blew me. Actually, no, maybe 2020. I think it was only last year that I read it. But I would listen to it on audiobook on a long journey, and it kept me up. After I got home, I had to just stay up for the next 2 hours just to listen to the rest of the audio because it had me completely hooked. And I think the mark of like really good true crime is the writer itself. And I was just absolutely fascinated by Michelle Mcnamara. And it's a really touching book in a way because Michelle died before she finished writing it. So it was finished by, I'm not sure who finished it actually, but it was compiled eventually and published. And because of this book, like part of the reason they then found the guy who was the Golden State Killer is because of this book and all the research she did. And that just blows me away. I think that's incredible. So yeah, rereading this, I'm not far off done with it actually, I think I've only got about 100 pages left of this, and then I think I'm moving on to Six Crimson Cranes. I also really want to read A Little Life because Ro reckons I'll give it 1 star, and I want to prove her wrong. But it's a massive book. I might be able to finish that before the end of the month because I'm ahead of schedule now, I think. I've got like 3 books left to read, and it's the 23rd, so that's 8 days. And it's the weekend, so plenty of reading time. Pretty on top of things. A bit of a reading binge lately, and I've read another 8 books since I last updated you, most of which were yesterday, which was Monday, because I am woefully behind with this reading vlog. I think I'm gonna have to just turn them into reading vlogs rather than weekly reading vlogs because I am not sticking to a day. They were Sunday, then they were Tuesday. This one is not going to be up until at least Wednesday. I'm going to have to try and remember now what all the books I read were. So the first book that I've read since I last updated you is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle Mcnamara. This is a non-fiction about the Golden State Killer, and Michelle Mcnamara is, well, she's just an ordinary woman who runs a crime a crime website. She is Patton Oswalt's husband, or she was rather. She died before she finished writing this book actually. The research in this book kind of helped lead to him being captured a little while after this was published, which was after her death. And I first read this on audio, and I did really, really enjoy the audio the first time around. And then this time I half read it and half audioed it, and I really enjoyed reading it. So this, I'm not going to change my rating because I don't change ratings of books I reread, unless they're really much worse. But yeah, this was a 5-star the first time I read it. It just absolutely hooked me. I could not stop reading, couldn't put it down. So, highly recommend if you like non-fiction and true crime. I then read The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, which has this beautiful TikTok sensation printed on the cover. So that's a trend I'd like not to be a thing. This is a romance in a school, a university, I think Stanford, where Olive, the protagonist, is a PhD student, and the love interest is he's like a TA professor, maybe. I'm not fully sure, I can't remember. But he teaches and she's a student, but he doesn't teach her. This could have been a 5-star, although some things that the main character did I found quite annoying. And there were some really pointless jokes about, like, drinking Starbucks will give you diabetes. And I'm like, well, that's not really how it works. And it's just a stupid joke that's not funny. So I don't know why that didn't get kicked out by the editors. This was a solid 4-star in the end. I did enjoy reading it, and I raced through it. So I can't really... yeah, not much else to say, really. It definitely wasn't like my favourite romance, but it was an easy read and I enjoyed it. These are not in order because I can't remember what order I read them in, but I also have finished Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Myers Sane, which is sort of paranormal, creepy, set in Louisiana. A girl's gone missing and the protagonist, Gray, goes back to her Louisiana hometown to see what's going on and figure out what happened. This one is good if you like atmosphere. It's very atmospheric. And in the end, I just found it lacked everything else. I didn't really care about any of the characters. Didn't really get the plot. It was okay. It was meh. The next book I finished is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, which is, again, slightly fantasy, paranormal-ish. Atmosphere, again, quite good. But I'm not in a reading slump because I'm reading loads at the moment, but I'm not reading much that I'm really enjoying. Like Dark and Shallow Lies, I nearly DNF'd and I put it aside for a week and then came back to it. And this, I raced through in like a night and a morning, but like it's forgettable. So I think I did give it a 3 in the end because I know that I'm not going to remember this like in a month. I know that there was a main character also called Grey in this because I got confused because I was reading this and Dark and Shallow Lies at the same time. Both called Grey, both sort of paranormally. So last night I also read Blankets by Craig Thompson, which is a really chunky graphic novel. It's like 600 pages. But I read it in like 1.5 sprints on Rose Channel. It was an autobiographical graphic novel and I raced through it. There were parts I enjoyed, some of the art I enjoyed, but in the end that was a 3.5. Again, just fell a bit flat for me. And I don't think it's me being in a slump. I think it is just the books I'm picking up. I'm not picking up books that I'm really excited to read, and I'm picking up books that like fit prompts for readathons. So I only picked up Blankets because I needed a book that was over 500 pages that wasn't going to take me ages to read. So I thought, well, 600-page graphic novel, perfect. And perfect for the prompt, not perfect for me. So then I needed a book with diverse rep for Spoopathon. So I picked up Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, which I've heard really good things about and I thought I was really going to enjoy this, hence buying the hardcover for full price. And again, it just left me cold. I just didn't really care about the character. It was really depressing, really bleak. I spent the whole time in her head, and it's only like 290 pages or so, 240. So it's a really short book, but it's just so depressing. It's dull. It drags along, and there's just an awful lot of time inside this anxious, depressed protagonist's head, and not much else is happening. So the title is pretty accurate. It's bleak. So don't go into this one if you're feeling a bit low because it's just going to make you feel worse. I then wanted something quick that I could just pick up and power through. So I picked up Every Seventh Wave by Daniel Glatter, which is the sequel to Love Virtually. And it's all emails between Emmy and Leo. The first one I really enjoyed when I was like 15 and I reread it recently and it was okay. And this one I bought because I enjoyed the first one. Again, meh. I just didn't think this book really needed to be written, to be honest. It didn't really add anything to the characters or the story. I whizzed through it, and after like 160 pages, I just could not keep my eyes open anymore. And it was late, but also, if I'm enjoying a book, my sleepiness goes away, and I am in that book. And this just did nothing for me. These are going to be really repetitive little mini reviews in this video because I didn't enjoy reading much of what I've read recently. So then the last one that I've read recently was a DNF, which is Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. I read Convenience Store Woman by this author earlier this year, and it was like a 3-star, and I needed a book for a translated fiction prompt, and I wanted it to be short. So I picked up Earthlings, and it's just weird. I didn't like the first 2 chapters that I read, which were quite long chapters, so I gave up on it. I'm not going to feel any kind of way about that because you should absolutely give up on a book if you're not enjoying it. And I thought, I'm not enjoying this. But by that logic, I would have given up on quite a lot of the books I've read recently. I have now been through the Spoopathon House 5 times, and so this is the 6th time I'm going through with the Gifted to You prompt. So I'm now currently reading Bunny by Mona Awad, which was gifted to me by the wonderful Pris when I won her giveaway. So I've stuck the little Amazon note in the front so I always remember where I got this book from. This is quite weird so far. It's about Samantha, who is part of this writing group for her, I think it's a graduate program at a New England university. And everyone else in the group is a bunny, so they're like this clique of girls. And Samantha gets invited to be a bunny, and it's like a cult, almost. I don't really know how to feel about this one. I'm only 62 pages in, so there's a long way still to go. And I'm enjoying it. It's easy to read, but it is really weird, so I don't know what to expect from it. Next prompt after Gifted to You is a book with an autumnal cover. So I think I'm going to use that as a reason to pick up Iron Widow. I mean, this is very autumnal. I know it's supposed to be, I think, like a phoenix or something, but it does look like autumnal flowers. So I'll be reading this Illumicrate edition, which has very strange sprayed edges. I don't really know. Also, it looks kind of wobbly. That might just be because it's been in my room for a few hours. I don't think my room is that damp. So I've just had a flick through, and the chapters are actually pretty short in this one, which I love. I hate when a fantasy has really long chapters. You don't have to do that just because you're a fantasy. So yeah, this will be my next read after Bunny, and I'm aiming to go through the house a 6th time before the end of the month. So I've got a few days left to do that, and 5 books to read, so we will see. I caved and I ordered the anniversary edition of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This edition is so gorgeous, and I just got it off Amazon. It was only £12, and I didn't realise it was going to have all this exclusive content. I thought because it was Amazon it would just be the cover and the edges because they were in the picture. So it's this gorgeous like grey blue with the flowers, and then the dust jacket underneath, well the hardcover underneath, has these shiny silver flowers. Beautiful end pages. I'm obsessed with these end pages, and I never care about end pages usually, but these are gorgeous. And it is signed by the author. It also has a bunch of glossy art in the middle, so there's a few of these. So all in all, it's just a really special, gorgeous book, and I'm so glad I caved and decided to get it because it's beautiful, and I'm really excited to have this on my shelf, and it makes me happy looking at it. So that's all I want a book to do, really. Did also get Once Upon a Broken Heart from Waterstones because I saw everyone talking about the hidden covers, and I really wanted the fox hidden cover, but I did get the book, and I'm glad it wasn't the arrow because that's like a really boring one. So this is gorgeous. And I have never read a Stephanie Garber book in my life, but this has big font, like relatively big font, and quite a lot of chapters. So this I would like to read before the end of the year. So there we have it. A long and late update to this reading vlog. I need to try and start another one. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, even if it is all over the place and very sparsely updated, which I'm definitely going to try and get better at. I would like to try to get back to posting on Tuesdays. That means I'm going to have to edit this now to get it up on Wednesday because it is Tuesday night, so it's not going up tonight. I do have a few days off coming up. Next Monday, Wednesday and Tuesday I'm off, so I will be able to get a head start for NaNoWriMo and hopefully film some blooming vlog material and actually update you on time when I get stuff. I keep getting books and piling them up. I'm like, I'm gonna film a vlog about that because I'm never like, I mean, because I've been working, I don't want to film stuff in my work uniform because I hate it and I don't like to look at myself wearing it, so I don't want to film in that, and then I get home and I want to put my pajamas on or go and have a bath. I am going to go and edit this vlog now and try and get some of Bunny read, and I am going to wrap this up here. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you in the next one.